everybody, this is Jeanette Wilda, and I'm sharing my design team project for Luise Heinzl. This uses her Penguins and Friends collection. Excuse me, still suffering with allergies, so I might have to cough every once in a while. There are a number of kits that go along with the penguins, and I'll have all of them listed below. So there's a number of background pages, pages with the penguins, penguin ephemera, all that kind of stuff. So lots of fun stuff. This is a hardcover junk journal. And it's just some chipboard, and then I've bound, the album is put together with book tape, and then I've done a lot of sewing throughout the book, and, well, lots of fun stuff. Kind of went outside of my comfort zone with this one, but had so much fun playing with it, so really enjoyed this kit. So on the cover, I've taken two different backgrounds. I've done a lot of paper ripping, and I thought with the color theme that's in there, it felt very gold and silver. So rather than using my usual distress inks of either like vintage photo or walnut stain or whatever, I decided to go with some paint pens. And let me grab those. Right, so just so you know which ones I used. Let's see, this is Molotow, I think that's how you pronounce it, liquid chrome. I love this stuff. I mean, it really looks like you're looking into, what you see here on the cap is really what you get. You get this really shiny silver. Almost looks like a mirror. And I've got it in, the two different sizes. I don't think it says 4mm and 1mm. So use those. And then also an Edding gold, Edding 750 gold. And I was pretty messy with it, mostly because the first page I started doing, I was just kind of tracing around, and I slipped and went right up the page, and I didn't want to have to print it out again. And so I was like, and started being really messy with it, and it actually, I think it looks better than, when it's perfectly done. So I just let myself be messy with it and had some fun. So like I said, instead of inking around the edges of all the papers, I used one of the paint pens. These are a couple of chipboard feathers. And again, just used the two pens to color those. And again, every piece I kind of traced around with either the gold or the silver. And the spine just has a strip, and then on the back is one of the background pages. The colors in this, for my color palette, I went with the blues, of course, the silver and the gold. But also it's pretty much, this black and white with the penguins, and then this gorgeous blue ice and snow. But there was these tiny little accents of this kind of a peachy pink color. Dark and light. So when I was stitching, I found a thread that matched that peachy pink. And so all my stitching is in that. I like that just tiny pop that goes against the purple. Or sorry, the blue and the silver and the gold. And of course the white. Alright, so on the inside cover, just some white cardstock. And then there's these really great little pockets that are in the kit. And my favorite thing, which was these little jars. I just love these. And then added one of the little penguins. Most of the designer papers I didn't do anything to. They were just so pretty. I didn't want to take away from their gorgeousness. So again, all the pages went around with either the gold or the silver. And I had some scrapbook paper. This is generic. It's, there's a drugstore here, and I just got that from there. But I thought the stones, went with the whole birdie. And then also there's a lot of wood, because it kind of made me think of driftwood. And then I have throughout some, I hope that's coming through. I have to, in order for it not to flicker, I have to kind of blow the light. And so when there's white, it makes it a little hard to see. But I used some fabrics with that peachy pink. And this is just a spare piece of cardstock, or the scrapbook paper. And this is just a piece of wallpaper that I thought just went beautifully with this collection. And just took a piece of fabric and then a piece of trim. First sewed the trim around, and then sewed for a little tab. And then, of course, the wallpaper had, the imprint on it. And on the other side, I was able to cover it up. On this side, I used some washi tape to cover it up. And I did quite a bit of, it's pretty much just the design paper, and then I had some just regular paper in my stash, spritzed it to add a little bit of color, and then took the background papers that you can find in the kit, and added those throughout, ripped and added those throughout. So that's what this is. And then just a little piece of trim. I think this is meant to be a collar. And then there are journaling cards in the kit. This one, I just had some fun. Once I inked around it, I just added a little more of the ink around. So like I said, I spritzed it with various colors. And this is, so there's several of these design papers have this really great area where you can journal in. And so some of those I used as journaling cards, which meant I had the other half. So the one half of the page just went in as another page in the book. So I kind of like that look. And the middle of the signature here, I just took 2 tags from the kit. I have these really great metallic, I don't know if that's coming through very well, but metallic papers. And then took 2 of the design papers and then just added some plain paper to give a journaling spot. And then I've got this wonderful paper that I don't know where I got it. I don't know where it came from, because I got it in a set of material that was given to me. But it's almost like gold foil, except that it's got a backing. So it's gold foil that has a backing. So it acts like foil, but it's not as fragile. Real easy to work with. So I played with that quite a bit throughout. And so this here, you can see it's slightly different from the gold. So I also did use some gold paint that I have. Some, I think it's Fabrica de Coro probably. And added that sometimes with my finger. Make it nice and messy. This is actually fabric washi. So in other words, it's washi tape, but it's made out of fabric. So it's real thin, so very see-through like washi tape, but it's actually fabric. And then here, some more wood scrapbook paper. And then I think, remember if this was as a one on the ephemera or if it's just part of one of the pages. Because I used quite a bit of the pieces of the pages for other things. And this is just a little notebook, leftover paper, made into a little notebook. And I just stapled it and then covered it with the the staples with the fabric. And then here is a piece of muslin, 2 pieces of muslin actually, one white and one blue. And then I took one of the, I think it's one of the little journal cards that are in the ephemera set. Put that over and little tab out of the, oops, let me get that a little more in frame. Tab out of fabric and then stitched to make a little slide-in pocket for one of the tags in the kit. And then this is some scrapbook paper, and then I have a whole bunch of these little squares of like an organza fabric with some imaging on it and glitter. Excuse me. Little penguin, and then another of the, oops, see, maybe if I hold it, I have no idea how that's coming out for you. On mine it just, and this is some like a tissue paper, kind of thick, so like almost like handmade paper. That's the other side of the wallpaper. And like I said, I just love these jars, so I used, I think, every darn one of them because there's a whole page of them, so you get a whole bunch of these great little jars. And just took some lace and put it behind there. And then here is just some scrapbook paper, and then I had this piece of trim, and then some, it's like fibers for doing, I do kumihimo, and I use this for kumihimo, and I just weaved it through the trim to add a little accent to it. And then this is just some paper with some of the background paper and a little piece of trim stitched onto the bottom. Just a sticker. Let's see, this is a little envelope from a stash, silver. And then this is a, what is this? Cadbury's. So you know how you get cigarette cards or tea cards? There was a set of cards that you got within, apparently, Cadbury's. And it just happened to have these little puffins. So I thought it went great with the book. And again, just a little, some leftover fabric pieces made into a little tab. And just a bunch of papers. In the kit, the ephemera kit, you get some great triangles for doing tucks like this. And just a little collaged tag and a little tiny tag. And again, like I said, I used quite a bit of, I also did print them 2 to a page, so that also made them a little smaller. And then I was able to cut them out and then made for journal cards and then also for a cute little page in the book. So isn't that gorgeous? And so this is the inspiration. There's a, yeah, here on the next page, this feather was the inspiration for the adding this color in. So that's the only extra color that you have in this. I just loved it, so that became my accent color. It's that same paper with a little embossed, and then just another bit of offcut with some paper stitched on so you have a place to write. And this is a rub-on, so I used quite a bit of rub-ons throughout the book as well. So I like the see-through aspect of it. And just some paper, little applique, some fabric for one of the jars, pocket. And here, what this is I took one of the design pages and then made it into a rectangle and then cut one side at an angle and then folded it over the page. So on this side you get a great little tuck, almost looks like an envelope, and on this side you get a pocket. And then just added on one of the penguins from the ephemera. And then on this side, oop, that's some This side, you get, like I said, this great little tuck. And I just put some keyhole fabric on here, or whatever they call that. And there's actually 2 pockets here. So you got the big one here in the back, and there's another one here. And then the kit has all these great teeny weeny little pockets. So that's holding one tag, and then here it's another tag made out of the background pages and some of that fabric. This is actually a post-it note that I have, and just glued it down to the page. Went nicely. And then this is torn out of one of the designer pages from the kit. Like I said, here's another rub-on. I love rub-ons. And this is just a piece of scrapbook paper and one of the pockets from the kit for a journaling card and one of the tags. And another, another rub-on. Like I said, I just love that little extra splash of color in there. It's really gorgeous. That's another rub-on. And so this is, I believe, just a piece of random scrapbook paper that I had found. Either that or it's a part of the design paper, but it kind of looks like it's just a piece of, because I used quite a bit of scraps in this book, as you can see. A lot of little bits of paper that I had lying around. And there's these great little banners in the ephemera kit as well. And there's paper here, and then I took one of the design pages and cut it out, and so that there's another pocket here. And like I said, I loved how the pages gave you these really great little journaling spots, so some of them I just made into little journal cards. And then you can use this as a belly band. It's in the ephemera kit, or like I've done here, I just glued on the 2 sides and you get a pocket for a little random card. And then this again is one of the tags. And this is a random ephemera piece that I had lying around. Like I said, I used up my scraps in this one, which made it really fun. These are both in the kit. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Again, this, recently I got a whole bunch of papers and, well, a whole bunch of stuff from a neighbor, and this was in it. So, oh, and that's a little pocket there, and so that can hold one of the little baby tags. Can fit into that pocket, and then I just made that into a tuck for one of the journal cards. And then here I used one of the jars as a tuck as well, and this is in the ephemera kit. And one of the great pockets from the kit, and leftover bits, including some of that fabric. I like to use my bits. And then this was just torn from one of the design pages for one of the journal cards. Another rub-on. I just thought the color went really nice with the colors in the book. And like I said, I have a whole bunch of these little, hopefully you can see that. It's blowing out on my screen, but it's a piece of fabric. It's like an organza, and it's like somebody embossed it with glitter. So it's all glittery, shiny. And another rub-on. And then on this page is another piece of ephemera that I just had lying around. And then some more torn pages and one of the journal cards. And then some more scrapbook paper, one of the pockets, and for one of the journal cards, and another journal card made with another little fabric piece. And then on the other side, a little pocket for one of the little journal, or sorry, one of the little tags. And then here is a really big rub-on. And then we took one of the triangles and just backed it with paper so that I had two pockets, one for one of the great big tags. And then this is actually, I think you can use this as a belly band. I just rounded all of the corners and it made a nice little, either that or it's a piece of one of the designer papers. I got lost on what was in the ephemera set. And then here's another of that wood paper, and then another piece of this, like a handmade paper, and for pocket and for a tag and one of the journal cards. And then another one of these great shaped pockets for my favorite little jars. And then another of the banners. And I just sewed on another little fabric for a little tag and leftover bits for a journal card. And that's another rub-on. I love that stone paper. Oops, get that all in frame. Another of the tags from the kit. Another rub-on. Another of those shaped for, it's hard to get from this angle, for one of the little tags. Lots of little tags in this kit. And again, this is just one of the pages from the design page. Like I said, I printed it twice on a page so that it shrunk it down. And just a little bit of applique. And then here's another, just from one of the design pages, just ripped out the little penguin and then used a stamp from my set and then just went around it with the silver pin. And then this is the back cover, and have another one of the little triangles for a pocket, and one of the banners for, last but not least, one of the great little jars. So that is the book. Again, this is the Penguins and Friends, and I'll have the links to all the different kits that go along with this set. So if you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. Please like, subscribe. Go check out Luise Heinzl and all of her gorgeous kits. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.